Thank you very much, and good afternoon, Stefan. Let me start by introducing the Technology Bank for colleagues that may not be familiar with this new UN entity. Our primary mandate is to drive support sustainable development in least developed countries through science, technology, and innovation. And the Technology Bank has been in existence since November 2018. It was established by the General Assembly in 2016. Today, we are launching the Tech Access Partnership, or TAP, with support from UNDP, UNCTAD, and WHO. And TAP aims to scale up local production of critical health technologies in developing countries as part of a coordinated global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And as you know, COVID response efforts around the world have been hindered by shortages of essential health technologies, including personal protective equipment, diagnostics, and medical devices such as ventilators. TAP will address these shortages by connecting experienced manufacturers from around the world with emerging manufacturers in developing countries to share key data, knowledge, and other relevant support through a coordinated network. TAP will also provide three key areas of support. The first is product information. TAP will offer a digital warehouse of manufacturing and design specifications, technical knowledge, and other information required to scale up production. The second is technical guidance, and here TAP will help manufacturers troubleshoot issues they may encounter as they seek to ramp up production, including by providing information on market dynamics and regulatory hurdles. And finally, TAP will also facilitate connections by matching innovators, manufacturers, and other partners based on expertise, needs, and capacity. The COVID-19 pandemic is an unprecedented crisis, and to respond to it, we need unprecedented solidarity and innovative approaches. We are calling on governments, the private sector, civil society, and development partners to unite to ensure that developing countries have the tools they need to protect those that are most vulnerable, to respond to the pandemic, and also take steps towards the recovery process. By providing countries with the information, the tools, and support they need to manufacture life-saving health equipment themselves, TAP can also help boost innovation, support socio-economic recovery efforts, and make countries more resilient to future shocks. Local production will also create resilient health systems and supply chains going forward, preparing countries for this crisis and the next. And for more information, you can visit the website of the TAP, which is the techaccesspartnership.org. I'm happy to take a few questions and listen to observations that may be available. Thank you very much, Stefan, for this opportunity.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, hi there. Thank you very much. My name is Toby Burns. I'm a producer with NHK Japan. I'm curious, in connecting major manufacturers around the world who handle medical equipment and PPEs and this sort of thing to local manufacturers in developing countries, do you encounter issues of intellectual property or patents? And if you do, how do you negotiate those to make sure that equal access is granted for the people who need it?
Thank you very much. Intellectual property issues, and in particular patent protection, as you rightly point out, are very key to technology, and technology holders, we have seen also in recent weeks, some technology holders making available their innovations on open source, available to everyone that wants to use it. We've seen in the medical device industry a few initiatives like that, and we are approaching technology holders to say make this technologies available on open source and on voluntary basis. Because one thing that I should also underscore is that the initiative focuses on technologies that are already in use, because there is quite a number of initiatives currently ongoing where innovations are underway to try and bring more products onto the market, which I think is commendable. But because of the pressure that countries are facing, and also there are regulatory issues, our focus is on technologies that are already on the market, the designs that have already passed regulatory assessment and have been proven to be fit for deployment. So that is the approach that we've taken. But you're absolutely right. Open source is the way to go to be able to avoid any complications or challenges around IP restrictions.
Hello, sir. It's Evelyn Leopold. Is there any possibility of connecting the internet to people in developing countries, perhaps through their cell phones?
I think the point you raise is important, because without connectivity, we are not able to reach, in some cases, we're not able to reach large parts of society. And we work with other partners beyond this initiative, but in our other regular programs, we work with other partners to address ICT connectivity issues. We work with ITU, which is a UN agency that is leading the work on connectivity. But also the point you raise about mobile connectivity is very important, and we've seen in some parts of in sub-Saharan Africa, for example, the change and the impact that mobile technologies have been able to bring to connectivity. So yes, we will continue to work with other partners that are able to enhance and improve connectivity through mobile devices, because that is how we can be able to reach as many people as possible.
Thank you.
Hello, I've got one additional question. If no one else if no one else needs to go, can you hear me, sir?
Please go ahead, Toby. Yes, Toby.
Thank you very much. Would you please just highlight a few examples that you're particularly excited about, or that you think show the potential of your organization? Just a few critical on-the-ground examples of work that you've done, or if things are still in a more developmental phase when it comes to work on the ground, if you could just highlight things that we could look forward to. Thank you very much.
Well, as I noted, today marks the formal launch of this initiative. And to prepare for this launch, and also for more for work on the ground, as you put it, we have been consulting quite extensively with technology holders, with other partners that are already in the field, engaged with countries to support capacity to be able to produce these products. I can give you the example of medical devices. We've seen a number of initiatives recently by big corporations in the US, but also by other technology companies and entities that have made available their technologies free of charge around ventilators, assembly of ventilators. So what we are partnering with them and working with them, particularly to address issues around sustainability, because it's one thing to make the technology available on the platform, but you need to also provide support for companies or manufacturers that want to repurpose, for example, their current production arrangements to be able to produce this product. So they will need some sort of technical support. There's also the issue of access to finance. There will be a requirement for resources. We are going to start consultations in the coming days with a number of development financial institutions so that they can make available lines of credit for manufacturers to be able to repurpose their facilities to be able to focus on these products. Another important consideration is that if you look at sub-Saharan Africa, for example, there is adequate productive capacity in sub-Saharan Africa, whether it's East Africa or Southern Africa, around clothing and textiles. which means that production of PPEs is not going to be very difficult. All we need to do is to provide support in terms of making it possible for them to access the specifications that are required to ensure that the products that they produce are produced in line with international standards and are able to meet the requirements that will ensure that they provide full protection to those that are going to use them. So we're not starting from scratch. We're basically helping them realign their production capacity to be able to focus on these products.
Thank you very much. My name is Edith Lederer. I'm the Associated Press Chief Correspondent, and on behalf of the United Nations Correspondents Association, thank you for doing this briefing. We appreciate it. I have a question about timing, because Mark Lowcock, the UN humanitarian chief, has said that estimates are that it will be 3 to 6 months before the peak of the pandemic reaches developing countries. Will all of this equipment be available and be on the ground to meet that timetable, or at least some of it?
Thank you very much, Edith, and thank you very much for having me and to participate in this noon briefing session. It is exactly that timing that we have in mind, that if we're talking, in fact, we were thinking that probably 3 to 4 months is the window of opportunity to get this production capacity up, scaled, and be able to get products and equipment where they are needed. Because we are not starting from scratch, we are not building new factories, we are just repurposing existing production capacity to be able to produce this equipment by giving them the specs and the technology that they need. We believe that we should be able to get products onto the where they are needed within a very short period of time. The alternative is that the queue to source products where they currently are being manufactured is getting longer. And even if you have money, it's no longer about money. It's about the fact that there's 40 other countries in front of you that are ordering millions and millions of these pieces. So if you're a small country from Southern Africa trying to order 2 million pieces of equipment, you get pushed further in the line, down the line. So we believe that by providing this support, we can be able to set up regional production centers that will be able to meet regional demands, but also with an eye on the post-COVID recovery process. We believe that this will also strengthen existing manufacturing capacity and keep economies running. It is also a reality that not every country is going to assemble ventilators. Not every country is going to assemble diagnostic kits, but we believe that throughout, and Sub-Saharan Africa is a good example. In Southern Africa, you have adequate manufacturing capacity for assembly of medical devices. In East Africa, you also have equal capacity. And in North Africa, you have that. So you can actually spread that capacity to be able to provide these products and set up regional supply chains that will make sure that every single country has access to adequate supplies at a probably much more cost-effective level than they currently have to pay, where we've seen prices go up as high as 200% than what they were before the crisis kicked in.
Hi, Mr. Setipa. I'm Maria Henova from TASS News Agency. Could you please name the countries or companies you're already working with and which already volunteered to support your bank and give some help, and also the countries which are first in the list of those which will get the help? Thank you. I
can cite the example of the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab initiative, which has made available that technology on ventilators to the platform, in which we will be able to make available to countries that require it. As for countries that are seeking to access this facility, it's a demand driven process. So countries themselves have to take the first step to express interest. And informally, we have already received expressions of interest. Now that the initiative is launched, we will be formally engaging with countries to identify facilities in country that can be able to focus on producing this equipment. And we expect that in the next coming weeks, we will be able to build to start compiling a list and engaging with countries in that regard. As for companies and initiatives, now the Jet Propulsion Lab NASA is a good example of a technology that has been made available. There's also already, as you know, Medtronic is another good example of a company that made available its technology on ventilators. And our focus, I should also add, is also on PPEs. And we've already started engaging with a number of partners that will help boost that production of PPEs in the coming days. So we should be able to report back within the next coming weeks on the progress that we've achieved, and also be able to cite examples of where production has started within a very short period of time.
I'm trying to get in a question. What, sir, Mr. Stoddard, what are the languages you're exiting your intelligence on? That would be very helpful to know. And then second, sir, I wanted to tell you that I received already from Chad this morning in the middle of the night from Mr. Dairu Siddiqui, one of the officials. They've started factories for face masks there already, and they're able to help 50% of the country already.
That is very, very commendable, and we've seen other countries also take steps to address these shortages, and we're hoping that this initiative will complement that work, but also importantly make available to these initiatives that are already ongoing technical specifications that will ensure that the integrity of the products that they are producing can guarantee 100% protection to those that need it. We are going to be providing our information in all the official languages of the UN. Of course, the easiest one to start with is English. We are working hard to ensure that before long we can be able to provide this information in French, in Arabic, in Chinese, and also in Spanish.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Well, thank you very much. I see no further requests for the floor. Let me thank you once again, Stefan, for this opportunity, and also to the members of the media for this opportunity, and also to say that we will hopefully be able to come back from time to time to give you updates on how the initiative is performing, but you'll also be able to hear and see for yourself the impact and the transformational impact that we will be making on the ground as we are able to get particularly health practitioners whom, as we have seen in Europe and in the US, have been at the forefront of this and have been exposed to do this, and we've seen unnecessarily high levels of casualties around medical practitioners. So if we can be able to prevent a repeat of this in the developing countries that are already have medical health facilities that are overstretched, then I would say that we have succeeded. So I look forward to coming back to brief you on the progress of the initiative. And if there are any further questions or observations or advice, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will be able to take those on board. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.